of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, let's call the roll, please.
Mr. Ripko,
Hello.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Ziegler,
Here.
Mr. Laurie,
Here.
Mr. Fisher.
Here. I'd like to welcome Councilman Art Laurie to his first meeting. Welcome, Art.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, item 2 is a motion to accept the minutes of the December 11th and December 23rd meeting.
I do, before we accept these minutes, I would like to discuss a couple things that I just found in the minutes.
Okay,
This could be
Which meeting? The
Or-
23rd or 11th?
the 23rd.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Kathy, they left bubble.
11th.
First thing is. When I was going through these. On page 3.
What page, Carl?
323. Resolution naming Nate Stranges as full-time building safety inspector for the town of Horseheads. Resolution by Mr. Wilbur, seconded by Mr.
Oh.
Oh.
I apologize.
Well, he
Yeah,
called it in long distance.
We copy and paste over,
Okay,
so I do
So,
apologize for that.
that's-
That can be corrected.
apology accepted. And then the only thing I got to say about the minutes is I brought up some concerns about this, we talked about the street sweeper, about the leaf pickup, and about the salt spreader. And I know these minutes are done like this, and I would just like to see the minutes laid out a little bit different, so it's all in there instead of just partial. Now, I'm just saying that maybe that or, if this is the way the minutes are gonna be done. Okay, but can we go to digital recording and put the digital recording online so we can be more transparent to the residents? Was my question.
Good question. We will find out from our IT. You have to make a note, please, for me?
Yep.
So are we going to accept these minutes as is, or are we gonna?
With the corrections.
Okay, what about the more of the minutes? If this is gonna be like this, don't you think the minutes should be laid out a little bit different so everybody can see what we're discussing and what we're not discussing and everything?
Are you saying there should be more detail of the discussion? Because
Absolutely.
when things become verbatim, then that's a whole different story. Minutes are usually not verbatim. They're just interpretation of the town clerk. And the highlights
Okay,
of this topic is
and you're saying verbatim, what do you explain?
verbatim is like word for word.
Okay, okay, so that's fine.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah,
that's
okay,
usually,
okay, so I agree, but still to be more transparent, I think that would be nice. And I believe the village puts their audio online, yes or no, Mayor?
So, obviously, it's just a recommendation, but New York State Committee of Open Governance. It states or recommends that if you are live casting like you guys do, like we do, we record it. And then we would, so that we were having a problem prior to my election. That we were getting minutes out like you guys within the 2-week time frame that they
Yeah,
suggest.
it's recorded because it's online, it's recorded.
Correct, but if you post the recording of the meeting within 5 days of the meeting, that circumvents the 2-week deadline you have of posting the draft minutes of that. So originally, I went with that so that we didn't have that 2-week deadline to put the draft minutes out, but then then we continued, we fixed our processes, and now we put out our minutes within 2 weeks. And we keep our video recording up for 5 years as recommended for that, because more than, I agree with Kathy, that, minutes are just a summation, but there's no substitute to having verbatim record of public meeting such as what's being recorded. That's why, and as to my knowledge, the village of Forsyth and the county of Chemung are the only ones that have that level of transparency.
Want to look into it? That's not a bad idea.
And actually, at any time, Carl, if there's important statement or important fact about a topic that, that's missing from each discussion,
Mhm.
we can, you can let me know and we can
Right, and
definitely
then
tweak things.
I reviewed these minutes and I didn't catch it the first time, Kathy, that's why I'm bringing it up tonight, so that's when, and then I reviewed them again, and then that's when I caught, and, Mr. Wilbur,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, I
then,
missed it too.
I didn't, I brought up a couple concerns, which I understand what you're saying, but I just, I wish, I think the digital recording would solve all our issues. And put it online.
We will look into that in the morning.
Mhm.
So we need to accept the motions of the 2 meetings with the corrections. So. Second.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 2B is resolution authorizing payment of claims.
Here we go. I would like to make a motion to hold one bill, Kimball Midwestern for fence stopper. When I was up auditing the bills over the weekend, I ran across this bill. And then I just Googled it and found it online a lot cheaper. So I'd like to check that out. I did talk to the department head and I asked him if we did this, is there any chance that we called a local company such as Nick Fencing, Ballin Fencing? And he didn't think about that. But that's where we use our fencing. And from what I see online, we could have saved quite a bit of money on this. So I'd like to withhold this, reason why. And make sure it came out of it's in the 2025 budget for capital improvement. But I believe, and here again, I could be wrong on this. I believe this came out of a supply account. Well, that's really not a supply, it'd be capital improvement, so. That's the reason why I'd like to hold that up to further review and, get to the bottom of it.
We have a second.
Yeah.
Mr. Ripko. Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. 2C. Oh, yeah. That was. So I called the roll on paying the claims for.
Just did.
Need a motion to pay the claims except Kimball.
Right,
We did that.
yes, that's what we just did.
did.
And Carl will.
No, he made a motion to remove it.
So now we need a motion.
Now you need a motion. to pay the
Pay the claims, no minus Kimball.
Mr. Ripko. Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Who'd you get the
Oh,
second from?
I'm sorry.
You got
Mr.
Ziegler on a motion. Who
And
was the
a
second?
second.
I second it.
Okay.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Okay, now, item 2C, reports of town officers.
I move these reports be received and put on file.
Mr. Ripko.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 2D is correspondence and E is a motion to receive the correspondence.
So move.
Mr. Ripko, Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler. Mr. Laurie,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item 2F is audience participation. Anyone that would like to speak to the board to address any concerns, the board will listen. And it's anything that is not on the agenda. And we ask that you step to the podium, state your name and address, and the board will listen.
Walt Crooker, 124 Overlook Drive. I'm here to see if there's any updates on the suggestions we made last board meeting.
And that's it. I mean, do you have any other?
The board doesn't participate during this, so you make your statement. If you have a question, it'll be answered after this portion of the meeting. So if that's your only statement, then you're fine.
Anything?
No, just.
Well, we would like to show you this. This is one of the problems we have.
Yeah, we'll give it to Kathy and she'll make copies.
You guys can look at all of
Yeah.
it. There's 7 kids playing out the bedroom window. Yeah, from the tap house. And I've personally seen him 3 times and notified him by email or messenger that 2 times. And after we got them kids out of there, 15 minutes later, 2 other kids were playing on the property. So it's kind of like a liability thing, isn't it, John?
The board doesn't participate. You make your
Okay.
statement.
Okay.
When you're done,
Okay.
please sit. We have other people who want to make statements.
And then we'll go back.
I'll check. You want to keep that?
Yes, if we could. Sure. I'll give it to
Do you
Kathy. She
have-
can make copies.
Is there a date
I
on it?
just want to show that to my
29, 20.
my friend Phil here.
It's running.
Was there a
That's
date
up-
on it
that's
and who took it?
7 kids are playing kickball.
The date is on there. Walt took it with his phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice catch.
So,
Walt took it. So
is that all we have to say? Okay.
Yeah, when we contacted him by messenger, he said he would take care of it, and he did, and then he took care of it again, and he just made the statement, I don't understand, I tell the customers.
come up here and talk if you
Oh,
please.
sorry.
State your name and address.
124 Overlook Drive.
Now, make your statement.
Yeah, just when I messaged Carl to tell him about the kids that were out there, he said he wasn't home, but he would get taken care of right away. And then Walt actually called down the tap house and I said, okay, I think it's been resolved. He says, good. Then I told him a few minutes later, there were a couple more kids out there. He said, we'll take care of it. And then he said he was sorry and that he tells the customers that they need to stay on his property. But I don't think the customers know what the property lines are.
Well, here's another picture you can have. This is a guy walking his dog. It's hard to see because it's taken.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, you see that? You see
Yeah.
the animal there too?
Circle that?
Yeah. That's a guy walking his dog. Property.
Is there a date and who took
Yeah,
it
there's
on?
a
Yeah,
date.
Walt took
I'll
it.
probably check.
And it's hard to catch people walking the dog, but I do have tracks in the snow.
Is there, anyone else would like to address the board? Please step forward.
My name is Sheila Washburn. I would like to refrain from
What's your
providing my,
address?
can I provide you my address? Not the rest of the councilman.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
As a taxpayer within the town of Port Said, there's been recent events that I've become aware of that pertains to the unethical behavior of Mr. Carl Lewis in his capacity as a councilman for the town of Port Said. Mr. Lewis on frequent basis, possibly daily, is speaking directly with an employee of the Horseheads Highway Department as to the activity discussions that occur within that department. As a result of one of those conversations, Mr. Lewis took it upon himself to contact yet another employee of the Highway Department after hours to validate something he was told, as he wanted to fish for additional details. This discussion that took place after hours was more than unprofessional. However, I will not reveal the context of that discussion. I'm sure he understands what I'm referring to, nor the names of the employees that are involved. I'm sure through an investigation this can be determined. After reading all of the 2024 meeting minutes, it is evident that Mr. Lewis has an issue with the town highway superintendent, as he is very attentive within the highway department's invoices, referenced yet again tonight, regarding vendors, locations of purchases, including questioning of the purchase of 3 pairs of gloves last year. Really? It would be one thing to occasionally request additional information regarding purchases. However, it's constant. The highway department's invoices are being withheld. Or the continued questions on what town equipment is in the village of Elmira Heights, despite there being a negotiated shared services agreement with the village of Elmira Heights, and that the town receives almost $300,000 a year for it. Yet there is little or no concern about other municipalities in the shared services agreement and use of equipment. My question to the board is, in accordance with resolution number 12 of 2024, did the town not appoint Marty Vanderhoff as the highway superintendent? And does or does not resolution number 46 of 2024 authorize him to rent or hire highway equipment when necessary as provided by law, to maintain signs and markets for the safety of the town highways, to purchase gravel for year 2024, and to purchase or repair tools, equipment, and supplies as provided by the highway law, section 142. And resolution number 47 of 2024 specifically discusses shared services, as well as resolution number 48, authorizing the town supervisor to sign a shared services agreement within the village of Elmira Heights. If there are concerns about the actions of the highway superintendent and what he does he or does he not have a supervisor that can intervene with these concerns? If the answers to these questions are all yes, then why is there constant micromanaging of a town councilman? I'm confident this type of behavior violates several of the town Horseheads policies, in which every employee and board member has to acknowledge on an annual basis, including section 407. Code of Ethics. The town of Horseheads recognizes that there are rules and ethical conduct of public officers, employees, which must be observed if at a high degree of moral conduct is to be obtained, and if public confidence is to be maintained in your unit of local government. In section 903, non-discrimination and harassment, including sexual harassment in the workplace. It is the town policy to promote a productive work environment and to prohibit conduct by an elected official or employee that disrupts or interferes with another's work performance, or that creates an intimidating, offensive, or hostile work environment. Or section 1101, organizational communications. The town board is committed to assuring effective communication between the board and employees. The success of the organization is dependent upon a set of common interests and goals that is achieved through teamwork, sharing of ideas, and effective communication. As a taxpayer, it's obvious just by reading the meeting minutes that Mr. Lewis is singling out the highway superintendent, trying to catch him in a wrongdoing, despite his many efforts in trying. This bullying, unethical behavior is harassment on every level. The micromanaging of invoices, privately speaking to an employee from the highway department to obtain information about day-to-day activities, that is most likely giving Mr. Lewis more to investigate, which most likely is resulting in the questioning of the decisions that the highway superintendent has been empowered to make. What is troubling is that most, if not all, of the highway departments in Chemung County are aware of these problems and are talking about it. How embarrassing. This behavior is creating animosity not only between the employees of the highway department but the superintendents and employees of other highway departments within the county. I've heard it myself. When is the town of Horseheads, including Mr. Lewis, going to start acting in the best interest of the taxpayers and get back to conducting legitimate business versus this unethical behavior? Your own policy states that rules and regulations regarding employee behavior are necessary for the benefit and safety of all employees, the efficient operation of the town, and delivery of services to the residents of the town. Any conduct that interferes with these operations or discredits the town will not be tolerated. Maybe it's time that the board consider revising bylaws to include term limits for members of the town board. 30 years seems a little excessive. I do respectfully appreciate your time listening to tonight, as well as your consideration with my request to do an investigation. If I hear of any retaliation or continued gossip within the municipalities within Chemung County regarding any of this, I will contact the state and I will open an investigation with the state. I certainly hope that the town decides to do an investigation on their behalf.
Sure. Don't forget your license.
Thank you.
The other thing is, could you please file a copy of what you read?
Yes, sir.
The clerk.
I will.
That way we have.
Yes. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the town board on anything that is not on the agenda? Oh, we're done.
Yeah, right. Mayor Kevin Adams, address 202 South Main Street, Horseheads, New York, 14845. As I stood before you a year approximately ago, last year, where I read a nice little blurb about the tax bills going out and the village residents having the reduced town tax. I want to start this off, with a positive. I think we've moved very well over the last 12 months. I look forward to the conversations that we are currently or on the horizon to have with Supervisor Fisher about how the village can work together, namely in DPW services, but also where we were, as I think, too far apart as two municipalities. First, that was first. Second, I don't want to trample on your rules, but I do notice, and this is just now, I'll put my resident hat on as a town resident. Some of the resolutions that are being spoken to tonight in section 3 seem to be very interesting, to say the least, but also complex. I, back as mayor, am proud to be able to provide resolutions to the public prior to any voting or authorization, but I would just mention that some of these resolutions I would be interested in the details of, but you cannot find them with beyond said agenda. Thirdly and lastly, I would be remiss to reaffirm what I've already said publicly about the shared service agreement with the town of Horseheads and the village of Elmira Heights. As I'm sure all of the council people and everybody here is aware, the village of Elmira Heights is approximately 2/3 in the town of Horseheads and 1/3 in the town of Elmira. That 1/3 was not assessed to the town of Horseheads tax. I understand, I've been in government for 16 years. I am aware that there is money that's being paid to that. In my opinion, it is not enough. And that I will reaffirm what I stood here before you last year and said. The village of Horseheads is wholly within the town of Horseheads. Didn't think I have to say it, but it bears saying. And we pay the village of Horseheads, all of our residents pay 100%. 100% of our village residents pay that town tax. Like I said, I will end on a positive. I appreciate the efforts of Supervisor Fisher, but I ask all of you, please keep in mind, the village is here and the village is open to shared services. And we hope that we can see more of that. Because what I see from the town of Horseheads and other municipalities, at the minimum, should be for the one municipality that's 100% within the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the board on any issues that are not on the agenda? Okay, John, I'm gonna refer back to you, seeing there's nobody. Can we answer questions? Walt's questions.
Yeah, we can tell them where we are, sure.
Right now, we're in the process of putting together with code and highway an area of no parking signs that are gonna go up.
On my property?
On the street. On Overlook.
I
We're
don't,
looking at Overlook Drive all the way up to Short Hills and all of Sunset Terrace.
so that'd be all no park.
That'd be all no parking. Yeah, that's what's we've got. I mean, it hasn't come to the board, it hasn't gone through anything, but that's what we looked at today and printed out a map.
Thank you.
And the other thing is, Mr. Richmond is supposed. I hate to put it that way, but Mr. Richmond is working with Hunt Engineers to propose another plan with regard to parking. And we are looking at whatever, we can do. And also with regard to, I believe it's gonna have to be some sort of fencing. That's gotta surround his property at this point in time. But that. You don't like to hear it, but that's your problem. It's not our problem. Okay, that's a trespass. So that's between you, him, and the police. Not us, but we'll try to see what we can do to resolve it.
What about the shore power?
Pardon, the
The
what?
shore power for the food trucks?
The generators. The power,
Power, so
He's
that,
put in a 220 outlet for them to plug in. So hopefully even during the summer, that'll resolve that issue.
thank you.
Okay, and for Ms. Washburn, yes, we will be looking into, I mean, obviously, it's gonna take some time.
Will you be available to come in if necessary?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I look forward to our meeting next week.
Thank you.
And that. Okay, so moving on, item G. I wanna, this is gonna be a change of the, is discussion of possible action regarding the demolition of the animal shelter. Well, we wanna change that because Mr. Lowry and I went over and looked at it last week, but a water pipe broke in the animal shelter. And we didn't know it. Okay, so it destroyed the ceilings and stuff. But I'd like the information for the board is I'd like to get quotes and ideas, what it's gonna cost to take care of it, fix it up, redo the inside, and a cost to see if we want to demo it. Marty's looking into the possibility of usage for some of his smaller equipment there, and that, so I want to go both ways, and once I get pricing, I will come back to the board for what you guys would like to do. So this is more now an informational what's happened. We did shut the water off over there, so we won't have an ice skating rink. Okay, so item H is a reappointment, resolution reappointing Matt Mustico to the planning board to a 7-year term. Lucky.
Second.
Mr. Rivka.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye. Item I is a resolution reappointing Brian Quayle as chairman of the zoning board of appeals for a 5-year term. Second.
Mr. Rivka.
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie.
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Okay, item J, there's no conference attending, so we will go to the third item on the list, and if, as it states in the beginning, if the town board members wish to make any motions, remove an individually proposed resolution, please state now, or these are our annual things we've done for years, and If no one has any objections or nobody wants to remove anything on the board, we can take care of them all in one situation.
Donnie, these really did open last year, right?
Yes, yeah.
No.
To some extent.
Anything that was in red was new verbiage. On the draft minutes that I gave you, there was draft minutes in the packet, anything in red.
Got it.
It was what? How-
It pertained to dog licensing.
Dog licensing,
fees
we
going up,
changed the dog licensing fees, they went up.
And a little bit of verbiage with our designated holidays.
That's fine.
And the other is,
The healthcare.
these are the every other year organizational minutes, because we don't do appointments this year.
Correct. We just
So
ratify the appointment.
the other year would be appointments, because we appoint for 2 years.
So just to make note, previous year's organizational minutes are available on the website. And these are kind of repeating. If that helps for anyone to look at.
So if no one has any questions or want to remove anything, I would need a motion to adopt.
Don't move.
Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis,
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye.
You have those rules there, yeah.
I handed them out to everyone.
Did you? Okay.
Yes,
Part of what is adopted every year without thinking is the rules of procedure for the town board, which I know a couple of you that have never seen them. And they haven't been handed out for a number of years, so I figured we should probably do that. Yeah, so at least you have them. Or not. The rules of procedure.
Okay, that concludes our agenda, and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
Second.
Mr. Ripko,
Aye.
Mr. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Ziegler.
Aye.
Mr. Laurie,
Aye.
Mr. Fisher.
Aye, thank you all.
Yeah.